They laughed in the courtyard. The old jacket she wore was threadbare, faded to a smoky gray, the sleeves frayed at the cuffs. A group of uniformed cadets tittered and whispered, glancing toward her with smirks. One pushed the brim of his cap back and snorted, loud enough for everyone to hear. "What's with the coat, old-timer? You planning to dig trenches in it?" Cold winds whipped through the open square, her teeth clenched. But she stood tall, silence wrapped around her like armor. The wind carried the faint scent of diesel, of polished boots, and something darker. Anticipation, regret. This was the first sentence of the story, and within it the moral battleground had been drawn. The woman, Captain Laila Ahmad, remained utterly still. Her eyes flicked over the mocking faces without reaction. She let them stare, whisper, judge. She had worn that jacket for a reason, and until they knew why, she would not speak. As the seconds ticked by, the mocking voices softened, not because she responded, because something shifted. A general in full dress, the symbol of years and authority, paused mid-stride at the foot of the grand stairs. The metal insignia on his chest glinted in the morning light, harsh and unyielding. His breath caught as he recognized the patch on her coat. A crimson phoenix clutching crossed swords, the emblem of the fallen Firebird Brigade. He froze. Laila felt it too, a tremor in the air. All eyes turned, the laughter died. In that moment, 20 seconds into this confrontation, the audience already knew the injustice, ridicule aimed at dignity. And the possibility of redemption, or reckoning, hung like a blade overhead. Within half a minute the viewer understood who she was. A veteran, stoic, wounded, not just in body but soul, carrying memories that demanded respect. Empathy deepened. Viewers sensed she had lost comrades, had endured sleepless nights, had smelled sweat and dust of distant battlefields, had carried dead weight on her shoulders. Her jacket was older than fashion. It was memory stitched into fabric. Her wounds glimpsed in the faint tremor of her hands, the dull ache in her shoulder, the way she pressed her lips together as if swallowing grief. Every movement, every breath weighed with history. In memory she heard voices of fallen friends, she felt the sharp sting of sand blown into her eyes. She smelled burnt rubber and gasoline. She tasted sweat and regret. Although the cadets stood around her in mockery, they were silent now. Bystanders looked on with uncertain curiosity, some cheering the mockers, others uneasy. The air was thick with tension, authority versus silent dignity, laughter against quiet honor. Excessive politeness, cowardice in the face of injustice. Nobody spoke to defend her. The cadets resumed their whispers, quieter, but no brave voice rose to support her. That emptiness amplified the moral weight. Their laughter had created a void. Her silence filled it. In the growing tension, she touched the bronze patch, cool and smooth beneath her fingertips. A gesture so quiet few would notice, but it would matter. Elsewhere hidden allies stirred. Colonel Naveed Khan, retired officer now working in Veterans Outreach, watched from the wings. He recognized the patch too. He'd served alongside the Firebird Brigade. He'd lost brothers. He felt his throat tighten. No command from him, just movement. He stepped forward. The laughter reached its peak. One cadet made a sharp joke about her age. Another mimicked her stance. Behind her, Laila stayed motionless, unmoving as stone. The camera of memory zoomed into her mind. Scenes of firefights at dawn, comrades screaming orders amid bullets, dust tangling with fire, the smell of cordite, the heavy weight of despair and camaraderie. Then the general spoke, his voice low, firm, but audible. "Stand down." Cadets froze. "How dare you mock our own," he said. The words cut through arrogance and laughter alike. In that moment, the morality of the scene shifted. She had not cried out. She had borne. They had jeered. He recognized. He paused. He intervened. That recognition held the power of authority fused with respect. In her mind, Laila remembered her friend Arman, falling beside her under fire. He'd worn the same patch. He'd carried the brigade's honor. She'd carried his body back through suffocating smoke, cradled him. Since then she'd worn his jacket when her own had been lost. It smelled faintly of cedar and mildew, but she held it close, because it was all she had left. She had chosen silence. She had chosen that jacket, not because she wanted pity, but because the memory demanded it. When the general froze mid-sentence, the courtyard grew deadly still. Even the wind hushed. The mocking cadets shrank beneath his gaze. Public disrespect encountered authority that knew deeper truths. Something in the air shifted from confrontation to quiet revelation. A slow reversal unfolded. Colonel Khan joined the general at her side. Without fanfare. Without grandstanding, just silent solidarity. Two symbols of authority and experience standing beside her. Laila lifted her chin but did not look at them. She looked ahead, eyes focused, calm, unwavering. At this point the injustice, the mocking, the scoffs, began to crumble under the weight of silent honor. The public watched the power shift unfold. Laughter dissipating, bystanders stepping back, murmurs of wonder spreading. A whispered question, is she? Another, that patch? Recognition bloomed like dawn. Within the silence she spoke softly, her voice low. I wear this for the Firebird Brigade, for those who never came back. Her words were gentle, but they echoed. They cracked through arrogance and silence alike, striking deepest at the heart. That moment became iconic. Dignity over derision, sacrifice over mockery. 2 or 3 more words came from the general. We remember. It felt like a verdict and a promise. The cadets looked down, some bowed their heads. One stepped forward, removing his cap, his face pale. Sir, and Captain, I'm sorry. It came out raw, genuine. The others shifted, ashamed. The courtyard filled with an invisible shift. From mocking to repentance, from exclusion to inclusion, the public exhaled a collective gasp. Eyes glistened. Some bystanders raised small hands to their hearts. Here was moral victory. Not through shouting but through recognition, quiet words, and shared dignity. The cadets who mocked were not humiliated with punishment. They were given a chance to redeem through apology and respect. That was the true shift. Power not exerted but upheld in honor. In those final moments of confrontation, Colonel Khan approached Laila. He placed a hand gently on her shoulder, his grip firm yet gentle. He did not say anything more. The gesture spoke volumes. We honor you, we stand with you. The general nodded. The patch glinted in the rising light, blood-red phoenix rising from ashes. A phrase formed in the minds watching, silent dignity holds louder echoes than any shout. Another became whispered in hearts. Her honor was louder in silence than their laughter ever was. Crowds gathered, not to mock but to watch. Phones raised not to record ridicule, but to capture something stronger, a lesson in respect. Comments surged. She carried more than a jacket. That patch told a story they refused to hear. Dignity is the loudest armor. In the aftermath, the courtyard emptied slowly, but the emotional resonance remained. A cadet knelt by the marble steps to polish the jacket with trembling hands. Others helped. They cleaned the frayed cuffs, gently smoothed the fabric. No more mockery. Now respect in action. Laila walked away, calm, heavy with memories. But now buoyed by recognition, Colonel Khan followed, not leading her, but beside her. The general watched from the steps satisfied. The sun broke over the courtyard in shafts of gold. She paused at the gates, turned once, saw the cadets in clean formation, hats removed, heads bowed. The bystanders, some veterans, some civilians, standing silent, with their hands over hearts. A young woman in a simple shirt whispered, "Thank you for her." Laila offered a faint, weary smile. She turned and walked. The jacket shivered in the breeze. It was worn but not torn. The flame of the Firebird Brigade still burned, even if only in memory. The emotional reflection, respect is earned, but also owed, to those who carry wounds and histories. Sometimes silence speaks louder. Sometimes mockery masks ignorance until confronted by truth. And recognition, real recognition, has the power to freeze cruelty, forge empathy, inspire change. Invite viewers to reflect. Where are you watching from? Share a comment. Have you ever seen quiet dignity demand respect? Do you know someone who wears memory in silence and deserves honor? Subscribe for stories that illuminate unseen battles and silent heroes. In quiet conclusion, we feel pride, not in victory over others, but in victory within ourselves.